That is a pain. We're sitting here playing and talking. I get like notifications on my phone. I'm like, I should read these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, that's a big fear of mine. Is that like
you really want to bring up Peru?
In 2009, I played Dawn of War 2.
That's a
RTS, which I really enjoyed, and I beat it, and then I started the second game, which was Chaos Rising, I believe. And they were all running off of Windows 7's Games for Windows Live service.
Right.
And thankfully, Microsoft did the right thing, which was they gave out a patch that basically removes that DRM once they shut down the servers. But they didn't have to.
No, they don't have to.
And
there's no obligation to do that. It's good when they do. I'm glad they do stuff. Like, people will do stuff like that.
I guess it just really worries me that, like, there's probably a perfect time to wait for games, like maybe a couple years, but anything after that, it may just, like, fall off. Like, I don't think publishers anymore care about the longevity of their games, and they're just like, okay, we're moving on to the next one. Like, you have to. Like,
the problem is that there's just so many games. Yeah. Like, you can't like put the time. Like, some companies are just too small. They can't put the investment in to worry about the 100 people that are going to play this game like in 10 years. You know,
which is tough because I know it's possible. And and you're talking about small companies, and that's why this argument makes no sense. But like, I love the fact that Valve still supports the Half-Life servers.
Oh yeah,
like that game is ancient. Wow, that game is ancient, and yet you're still able to buy and purchase it. And so that's why things like Good Old Games give me hope. Like the fact that they're re-releasing the original Star Wars games.
Yes,
and they work.
I was just about to say, like, I love that they're doing these old games, bringing them back, making them work on modern computers with no.
I get such a good feeling from that.
Am I like
lost?
Did I do like a weird double path thing?
Now, I'm not saying if you had a jetpack right now and a double jump that you could clearly go wherever you want.
If this was Star Wars and now it's Boba Fett, you just cross that chasm.
I like
that. Looks like it's the
for whatever reason he has an animation where he smacks his face way more often than you would expect a normal human to. I just notice it every time he does it. And he does it again. He just like runs forward a little bit and like puts his hands up. I'm actually taking a moment to appreciate the graphics here.
Yeah,
it's fluid. There's a lot of light scatter. Not bad.
I remember too when I was editing our old Uncharted episodes. I know I saw that too.
Something broke.
Computer just weirded out, but it looks like it's still recording.
Double check, because I think it just said like hard drive space is gone.
No, that not way. It still says it's recording. It's still counting up.
It's writing to RAM.
Writing to RAM. Well, it looks okay.
Just do a 4-finger swipe up. Oh, it's gone. Whatever. Thanks, Mac OS X. Speaking of, thank you for killing my primary hard drive today and giving me a great project to work on when I get home.
Your primary hard drive is dead.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Not anymore. I've saved enough hard drives and experienced enough hard drive failure to have multiple backups.
Oh yeah.
It's still a project.
This has got to be the way I'm supposed to go.
Like,
I must just not have seen something.
HFS Plus file system has killed more drives than anything I've ever experienced on Windows. HFS.
Oh, yeah.
File system. Like, it's supposed to be able to repair drive issues with journaling way more reliably than NTFS is, and yet, it just once a year, I have to reformat a drive because it's just fucked. Like, it's a pain in the ass. And every year, hardcore Mac nerds are waiting for the next file system to come out, and it still doesn't. Like, HFS was born in the era where hard drives weren't bigger than a few megabytes. I mean, how do you scale that selectively without it being Band-Aids and tape?
Yeah.
So, I'm waiting for the new stuff.
There's gotta be something bigger out there. It's like, who even sees hard drives that are smaller than 64 gigs, which are SSDs completely?
Yeah.
And then, like, we have drives now up to, like, what, 1.5 terabytes on one drive? Something like that?
Well, no. I saw a post today from a friend of mine who has a 5 terabyte hard drive.
one
It's
drive
not-
that's 5?
It's not internal, it's external, but it's 5, yeah.
It's not like a bay that's got 2 drives in it or 3 drives in it?
No, it's just a regular disc.
Well,
And,
that's sick.
yeah, right? It's cool. Like, I recognize that there are certain things about file systems that, like, we've learned over the last few years that really need to be implemented across all systems. I mean, a file system itself can be responsible for deduplication. It can be responsible for creating shadow copies of itself in case you do things. The OS doesn't need to do that. The file system should figure that out. It's a file. Do something with it.
Right.
You know? So I'm just hoping that at some point we really will get to that. Like, I think it's called ZFS. Like, if Windows... And there's no reason they couldn't. If Windows and Mac both move to ZFS, like, it's just
I
such
wish
a
they both use the
superior-
same thing.
Such a
That'd be
superior
great.
system. And again, I've been on Mac OS X since Leopard. And
I've been Snow Leopard, yeah.
why I'm not able to write to NTFS drives yet is a little beyond me.
They've got like add-ons and stuff for that. I had to play with that before because I have an
yeah.
external that's on the network, which I still haven't completely got working the way I want to. But it's a pain. So like I have to have that as NTFS so that the router software can see it and then share it on the network, and then my computer has issues with that. It's a big pain.
Yeah, I've been in that similar situation. Oh!
Yeah. Shit on Nathan Drake. That's how this game works.
Doesn't he turn evil in this game? Isn't that the point?
What?
Wasn't, like, I've seen enough trailers. Doesn't he, like, Drake's deception or whatever, like, isn't
Drake's deception.
I don't know.
This is
Uncharted
Wait.
3, right?
Uncharted 3, Drake's...
Deception?
Is that what it's called?
I think.
I can't remember.
Point is, I thought in some trailer,
Yeah, it's Drake's deception.
either in 3 or 4, he's supposed to, like, screw over all of his teammates and, like, turn bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. I
Really?
think in 4,
Alright.
they're talking about, like, it might be the last adventure. Like, I think Sully's gonna die in 4.
He's old, so shit.
Well,
It's his
yeah,
time.
he's done his thing. He's done his part of the game. I guess that's what I was looking for.
I've seen him shoot far too many locks for me to wonder if it's real
3?
or not. That's a lot of locks. Can you shoot?
Yeah, but this could be like...
Can you shoot a lock? Does that really work in real life? I'd like to know. I watched Fast and Furious 7 last night.
Shoot a lock?
Dude, no. He lifted a car.
Who did?
Vin Diesel
Okay.
lifted the
I
front
was gonna
end
say, if
of a
anyone
car.
did, it was gonna be Vin Diesel or The Rock.
Well, yeah. Well,
And either way, either of those two, those two were the ones I would believe could do it.
But it made me believe I could do it. The first thing I did when I left the theater was I tried to lift my car. It didn't work. But the point is, like, I really wanted to know. I was like, is this real? Like, as a fairly strong human, I should be able to, move it.
As a fairly strong human, compared to like Vin Diesel or The Rock?
Not compared to Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is not that big. The
I will
Rock,
agree. I was watching 6, and I was like,
He's big.
He seems smaller than he used to.
He's big, but he's not that big.
I think
So-
he's lost some size in the past couple of years.
which is understandable as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, why would you keep it up if you didn't need to?
And, well, the human body doesn't want to be that big.
No.
Like, we know through science, the human body does not want to be that. Wow, he just did not walk up those correctly. But I looked at him and I was like, okay, even if he's twice as strong as I am, and he can lift a car, surely I should be able to, like, move it. Like, move it an inch. Like, at least feel it lifting off the ground a little bit if I really try. I couldn't move it at all. So, that experiment is over.
Wow, I just fell from the second story. Somehow rounding back to movies. Speaking of,
God, that is the most awkward stair climbing.
I think it's because of the wall mainly. Like he is, if you watch, he is stepping up the steps, but I keep hitting the wall, and it creates that
Like bounces
wall
you.
animation. It's like he is stepping up
that's
the
better.
stairs.
Yeah, alright. That's what we're going to say about movies.
Anyway, back to the movies. You haven't seen it, and you're also oddly not interested in it. Before we started recording, before you came over, me and Em watched the first episode of Daredevil,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. It was really good. I was kind of sad that I couldn't watch more because you were coming over.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
I guess, I mentioned this on the phone. Like, this maybe, this just shows how out of like normal nerd culture I am. Like, I looked at the Daredevil trailer, 2004, and I said that character doesn't interest me. So this series does not interest me.
But see, that's so disconnected. Like, this isn't. This is not the 2004 movie. Like, what the hell? It's not the same. Like, and as someone who's watched every Marvel movie from the Cinemaverse, right?
Yeah.
You've seen all the Iron Mans.
Yep.
You've seen, and you're into them.
Yep.
This is the same. Like, this is that. They're doing their extra thing now where they've got S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV.
Yeah.
Then they also have Peggy Carter, which is also awesome. And now they've got on Netflix they have Daredevil, and after Daredevil they're doing Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and then they're doing the Defenders on Netflix, all on Netflix,
which is cool.
It's really cool.
I like that a franchise is going in that direction. I don't have any. What word am I looking for? I don't have any investment in these characters. For example, I'm gonna go see Ant-Man because I know they're gonna do a good job of it, but I literally think that as like. That's like bottom of the barrel character development.
And I'm with you. Because
Ant-Man and Wasp Guy is his villain. Or whatever it's called. Wasp Guy.
But see, it's just like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, who gave a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy before last August?
Yeah.
Nobody. True. Like, that was literally, like... I mean, I don't know if that was part of the plan, but in my mind and in a lot of people's minds, like... Marvel announcing they were going to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie was basically saying, fuck you, Fox, fuck you, Sony, for not giving us our characters back. Yeah. We're going to take an F-class, like an E-class comic that nobody cares about, and we're going to make it the biggest movie of the year. Crazy. And they did. Like, it worked. And that movie was fantastic. It was so good.
But I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but here's what I mean. The reason that I can't get into the Spider-Man movies is because... if I go into a movie saying, this is a superhero movie, I don't like it. And Spider-Man, the recent ones, feel superhero-y. He's aware of his powers, so he's just going to kind of play around with them. Like, of course, he has villains and stuff like that.
Did you see the new ones?
Yeah, I saw them both.
Okay.
And they were both just average.
I like them.
I know you did.
But they're also not Marvel movies. They're Sony movies.
It's true. And I don't know if that's their fault. So I'm interested to see how Spider-Man reacts in the new film.
The new Spider-Man film, yeah. Which I'm definitely looking forward to.
But
anything Marvel does,
that's what I'm saying.
Fall over for.
It's like, you have like Iron Man, where it's like, I'm a hero, but I never wanted to be. I'm a real person first. Even Thor, where he's like a superhero, like he's a god. He spends most of his time dealing with mortals and the fact that he can't use his powers in certain settings because it's either not correct or because he has to be more like reserved. But the way that Guardians drew me in so quickly was that like he's not a superhero. He's literally just a regular dude, and they were self-aware enough to make fun of it. And I liked that so much. And I saw the same thing happen
Sully, why don't you tell me where to go?
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Like, you could tell Tom Cruise is 20 years older than when he was, like, diving through windows the first time. Yeah. And they actually make jokes on it. So, for example, he tries to exit a hospital, and, if he was younger, he probably would have jumped, 3 stories down into a wastebasket, which is what they have down there. But in this one, they show him kind of, like, thinking about it, and then losing his nerve, and then the villain that's chasing him makes fun of him. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that is so much, like...
Yeah.
That's all I need to keep me interested. Like, that's enough for me to be like, alright, there is growth here,
But do you not feel like that happens in, like, Cap 2, or...
No, those were perfect.
That's perfect movies. So then what's wrong with Daredevil?
What? What does he have that, like, makes him unique? If you say he's blind, that's not good enough.
I mean, that's a big part of it. But, I mean, think of it from the big picture perspective too. So far, we've had the big superheroes. We've had the Avengers, right? Yeah. Which are worldwide. They deal with catastrophic things, right?
Yeah.
Then we had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which are humans,
Okay.
soldiers
Still have to watch
dealing
that.
with superpowers.
Yeah. Which is a cool angle, by the way.
And it's a really good show. And now, it's going to be a little spoilery, but it's getting into the Inhumans, which is basically the X-Men,
Yeah.
but they can't use the X-Men. It's another mutant kind of thing in the Marvel Universe. That's what the show's dealing with now, because one of the main characters is an Inhuman.
Yeah.
So,
I guess...
that's a whole other thing. And then we have Daredevil, which he's a superhero, but he's not like the Avengers superhero. He stays in Manhattan, or he stays in Hell's Kitchen, he stays in New York, and he deals with this low-level stuff. Like, the first episode is him starting his practice with Foggy Nelson. In their first case, she's, innocent, she's being framed for murder or whatever, and he has to deal with that. And he wears the costume twice in the whole episode. The very beginning, and then the very end.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was a good episode. If they took Daredevil out of it and just made it a lawyer show, it would still be good.
Okay. That is good news for me. That actually makes me more hopeful.
Yeah.
But I feel like, much like my bias is that games will be bad until proven otherwise, your bias is comic book related things will be good until they're proven otherwise.
Marvel stuff will be good until proven otherwise, and that's only because they've done it now for almost 10 years, 8 years, and they've all been good.
Yeah.
They've all been solid.
Yeah, it's true. They really haven't bombed anything.
No.
I'll tell you the truth. Like, the reason I'm interested in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is A, your recommendation, B, the guy who dies in Avengers is in there,
Yes.
and
And
C,
that's, they deal with that.
and C, whoever that girl is really cute. So I gotta watch
That
it.
whoever that girl is,
I
like the
don't know,
main
some
character.
long-haired girl. There's two girls, I
Long-haired
think.
girl. There are 3 girls on the team. I doubt you're talking about May, who's the chick that plays Mulan.
Mulan.
Yeah.
Her name is Mulan.
No, she played Mulan in the movie.
Oh.
She's Mulan's voice.
Oh, that's funny. I was like, does she cosplay Mulan? What are we
No.
talking about here?
She played Mulan in the original Disney movie.
Is this one of those puzzles you have to think for?
Yeah, and I'm talking too much about other stuff to pay attention.
Yeah, you don't even know where you are. You're just walking around pressing triangle.
Okay, so he has a shield. He has an axe.
Even Sully's like, alright man, come on.
He has a mace. He has a sword. What the fuck? What did the shields mean? They're all facing the right, which means nothing to me. Okay. The axe and the mace need to face the shield. The shield needs to face the axe, and the sword needs to face the axe. So the sword is facing the mace. That must be the axe back there. I swear I've played this game before.
Well, it's true though.
It's been a while.
I mean, our worst filming session was when we were playing that Dragon Ball game.
Oh my god.
I was trying
We're not even going to publish that episode.
I was trying so hard to win that I lost the fact that we were supposed to be talking.
The shield faces the axe. Okay. So the axe faces the shield, right? And then the mace faces the shield. Yeah, that dragon. We did an episode. I guess not last week, but 2 weeks ago. We when we first started playing Uncharted that same night, we also played Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2, and we played it for about an hour and a half, and it did not go well. So the public will probably never see those episodes.
Like, it's not even one of those where you're like, oh, I actually want to see that. Like, you don't.
You don't.
There's a lot of silence, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there's a lot of silence. There's a lot of just looking at the menus.
I had just woken up. I was very confused about how to play these
You
games.
just woke up. I was... You just woke up and you had been, like, dirt biking that day or
That's
something.
right.
And then I was, like, just getting off of a cold, or off of a sinus infection, which also led to ear infections after that. So I was right in the middle of 2, like, really bad sicknesses. So it didn't go well.
Yeah.
I'd be happy not to ever see that. Maybe if we actually have an audience at some point, since we haven't published anything yet, and there's some time when we can't publish anything, maybe we'll throw those up. just because.
The apology episode.
The apology episode. Which is like a slap in the face because it's not even a good episode. Oh my god.
Yeah, you fell. Now what? Where's the noise that we can't hear? That's unhelpful.
Yeah.
But that's our fault.
That does make this hard. Like, we can't turn up the volume because then the mic picks it up. And some stuff is
I do like that
sound-based.
he speaks a lot through subtitles. That is convenient for
That's
me.
good. I watch everything with subtitles now.
Oh, jeez!
Oh god, spiders.
Screw that, son!
I'm out.
I'm not even afraid of spiders, but I don't like that. That's 3 giant
Those things were
spiders on
gigantic.
me. No, dude. I just watched Fight Club with subtitles, and I realized I was reading them way more than I was watching the movie.
That is a problem, I feel like. But I mean, I literally watch everything with subtitles now, and I don't know why. It's like I'm preparing to be deaf.
Just in case.
Which is funny, because right now I can't hear out of one ear. I haven't been able to for 2 weeks now.
I thought you got that fixed. I said, "Are you sick?" You're like, "Nah."
I'm not sick.
What if ear loss is contagious?
Ear loss? Like my ear just fell off?
That's right.
No, I've been medicated. Like, I've finished all of my medication.
Been medicated.
I just can't really hear well out of my right ear.
That's crazy.
It's weird. It's really weird. Like, I can't even describe the experience. I've spent 2 weeks not being able to hear out of one side of my ear.
I wonder how balance is affected.
It is.
You
Not
get
as
out of
much,
bed,
not as
you're
much
like,
as I
"Ugh."
always thought it would be, but it is definitely affected.
So has your eyesight gotten better? Because apparently losing some senses is supposed to give you better senses.
I wish.
You're like, I can smell much better.
Like, oh, I don't need my glasses anymore. Okay. Going long. Cutting off.